Happy Tuesday, everyone. We got some strength coming your way today. All right, we're gonna slow things down a notch, and we are gonna pick things up with some loading today. Just work on some tempo, work on some strength, and have some fun slowing things down a little bit in opposed to yesterday's snatch workout. So what we got for you guys before we get to the main work sets? Because the whole day is a work set, so it's a good time. We have a wide stance good morning for 1 to side lunge for 2, 3 to 5 reps. Single leg RDL for 5 aside, into a narrow stance squat 3 to 5 at a 3-1-3 tempo, into a goblet squat hold for 10 to 20 seconds, 2 to 3 rounds. Rock that, warm yourself up, get those legs ready for action because we're going to need them moving forward into this next phase. This next phase again is 3 to 5 rounds, so depending on how much volume you'd like to play with, how much time you have in the day, so you can kind of experiment, play around, give yourself the dose that you need for you today. We have 3 to 5 rounds of a dumbbell front or goblet squat, so depending on what you want to use today. Single arm front squat, double arm front squat, goblet, your call. 8 to 10 reps at a 0-0-3, so we want to think about that 3-second negative and then stand normal speed. So 3 seconds down to depth and stand. Rocking all 8 reps to 10 reps like that, into a 30-second rest, right into a dumbbell back lunge, or a back lunge in general, or a standing lunge drill. And I'll show you all those 3 things so you guys can play around. You're going to work on 8 to 10 per side with a 3-second lower as well. So you have a fair amount of volume in that lunge, and it's going to really kind of pack a little extra punch after those front squats or goblet squats. From there, we have a 90-second rest, and then you'll take it down again. So pretty controlled rest. The second one should give you enough time that you're not going to fully recover, but you'll probably get some good compounded fatigue over the 3 to 5 rounds. As we finish our squats, we're going to move into our upper body focus, so our 2 to 3 rounds. We have a scap push-up of 5 to 10, table or plank, depending on what you're comfortable with and maintain position. Into a leg arm extension for 5 to 10. You can load that with some very light loading if you'd like. And then plank to down dog for 5 to 10 reps. If you'd like to play around with that, you can in terms of opening up those shoulders, setting those lats, and really finding a good overhead position. From there, you have 2 to 3 rounds. We're going to move into 3 to 5 rounds of a relatively larger upper body work set. We have a dumbbell bent row for 8 per side at a 3-second negative. We have a dumbbell high pull, 8 per side at a 3-second negative. So it's a little bit of tempo in there, so we're not just whipping it back down. Rest 30 seconds, and then dumbbell pullover, 8 reps, 3-second negative. You'll hit that up, you'll rest 90 seconds again, come back up to the top, and again, depending on how much you'd like in terms of dosage for this kind of work set, we have 3 to 5 rounds, or in terms of time frame, give yourself the amount that you don't have to rush. You can take the time to do things properly, well, and get yourself fired up for a good day. Let's get you warmed up, we'll have some fun, and we'll get you ready. All right, guys, let's get you guys warmed up and ready for action. Let's get the feet under the hips. We're gonna take the arms up big and tall. We're gonna shrug those shoulders a little bit to wake them up after yesterday. Reach to the side, we'll come back up, and reach to the other side. We'll come back up overhead, take it all the way down to the floor, touch the toes, walk up the shins, we'll flow down, frame a foot, we'll step back into our lizard, nice and square in those hips. We'll take the inside hand up. We're going to rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, plant the hand, outside hand, big stretch. Lower that arm down. We're going to lower the knee, press the hip, come back to the center, straighten. We'll do that again. Inhale up, rotate, come back up, plant the hand, outside hand reach, come back down, lower the knee, press the hip, come back to center, straighten one more time. Inhale, rotate, come back up, plant the hand, outside hand, plant that hand down, lower the knee, press the hip, back to center, straighten, step into that down dog for a beat. We'll come back into our plank, step the foot up, inside hand's gonna scoop up, rotate forward down, come back up, plant the center, straighten it out, inside, rotate, back up, plant the hand, outside hand, plant it down, lower, press the hip. We're going to do that one more time. Come back through, inside hand reach, rotate, back up, plant the hand, outside hand, lower it down, lower the knee, press the hip, center, straighten, and step back into that down dog. We'll come back into our plank, tight and press, tiptoe those feet up. We're gonna roll it up, big stretch, little shrug. Coming back down with those hands. We'll get you guys ready for action. So pause the video if you'd like to do some more gentle stuff, maybe a few air squats, maybe some sumo, who knows. But play around with that, get yourself fired up. I'm gonna start you through that first phase of work, which is gonna start off with a wide stance, good morning, to side lunge. So I'm gonna do a rep facing you guys and then turn and face away so you can see profile. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, I'm gonna pull my hips back to about 90 degrees so I can feel those hamstrings. Then I'm gonna stand up nice and tall. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, take my hip down to that heel position, trying to stay as upright as I can. Standing tall, squeeze, pull back and down, stand tall, and then repeat. So that'd be one rep. We're gonna do that 3 to 5 times. I'm gonna turn myself into that nice side profile so you guys can see my back position. I squeeze my glutes. I'm gonna stay centered through my midfoot. I'm gonna pull my hips back, which hinges my body. Then I'm gonna stand up nice and tall. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, take it down, staying as upright as I can, nice and tall. Take it down, stand nice and tall. That would be 2, right? So nice little chance to play around with some nice flow, working on hitting those glutes, working on the hamstrings, inner thigh, lots of stuff there to take away. Have fun, move slowly through those. Really focus about that glute engagement. From there, we move into our single leg RDL. So we can do this again without weight or with load. So again, I can turn to the side first without any dumbbell, but it's the same kind of focus. I'm gonna shift my weight, find my balance points, hips are square, pull my hips back like a deadlift until my hands get just in front of my knees, stand tall, put my foot down if I need to for balance or just a light toe contact, and then do it again. Pull back, softening into my knee so I can feel my hamstring and my glute kick on, and stand tall. With weight though, if I'm going to use this for loading, I can hold this in multiple places. So I'm going to face the camera for these. It doesn't change the motion, but I just want to show you the loading. So I hold the dumbbell, I shift to my side for my load. I'm going to pull back and down, just to the knee or just below, standing tall. I can also hold on the same side as my knee or as my balancing leg, or I can switch sides and go on the same leg as lifting or shooting back. Again, this and the same leg as the lifting leg, probably the easier of the two in terms of staying square and balanced. The one where you're holding the dumbbell in the same leg has a good chance of tipping, so you just have to really fight that position. But again, neither is better nor worse when this workout or this movement is being done. It just changes sensation just a little bit. So play with all 3. See how you feel. If you're not quite using load yet, that's fine. Focus on the balance, the hamstring engagement. The benefits are there regardless of external loading or not. After our single leg RDL, our narrow squat stance comes into effect, and we're going to work that narrow squat. So I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see first. Regular squat stance just to feel it out, and then you can bring your feet inside of that position. I'll stand tall, squeeze, take my hips back and down, so I'm trying to sit on my heels as I keep my chest up as best I can, and I'll stand. So I'm trying to stay true to my squat mechanics, all right, by keeping that chest up nice and tall, my weight through my midfoot, trying not to sit too far back or too far forward in those feet, and I'm also trying to keep that back super flat. The tempo for these narrow squats are a 3-1-3, so it gives us a chance to take our time, work a little pause, really focus on opening up the ankles, and then get those legs ready for some weighted squats. Our next exercise is our goblet squat hold. So we're gonna pull that goblet under the chin. I'm gonna get my regular squat stance for this. So I'm holding the dumbbell nice and close. I'm going to take it down. Good smooth squat, so my knees track the toes, my hips kind of shoot towards my heels, and I am going to hold for 10 to 20 seconds in an active squat position. So I'm not sinking down, I'm staying active and engaged the entire time I hold that squat position. Another very important piece, I'm going to demonstrate this without a load. If I'm holding down here in that goblet squat position and I'm getting tired, I want to make sure that I stand up well, so hip and shoulder coming together, and not hips then back. Right, we're not doing a good morning, we're doing a squat. So we want to make sure that everything rises together when we come out of that squat hold. So if you can only hold it for 10 to 15, that's fine. Just make sure you come out of it well. Quick recap, we have a wide stance good morning for 1, to side lunge for 2. That creates 1 rep. We have 3 to 5 repetitions of that complex. Single leg RDL coming up next for 5 per side. Holding load to the front, side, or no load at all. Narrow stance squat, 3 to 5 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo, and then a goblet squat hold for 10 to 20 seconds. You'll hit that for 2 to 3 rounds, working on waking things up, getting things prepped, and then hitting those squats good and solid. So pause the video, take down that work set. We're gonna come back at you with that squat options. So we've already talked about the squat a little bit with that goblet squat hold, but let's talk about it a little bit more. So with our squat, we have an option to rock the goblet squat, so the dumbbell is up under my chin, nice and strong. I squat with a 3-second lower and stand. I'm gonna hit my depth in 3 seconds, or whatever my depth happens to be, I'm going to explore it. I can also play with a front squat, so the dumbbell rests on the shoulder. The arm is pressing into the front portion of the dumbbell, so I keep it active and strong. And I do the same squat. I take the hips to the heels, knees track the toes, weight through the midfoot, chest is upright, and then I stand, hip and shoulder rising at the same time. So regardless of having 2 dumbbells or 1, all right, I work that position really well, and I stay active through the midsection, pressing into that dumbbell and making sure I'm solid throughout my torso. I'm going to rest after those 8 to 10 reps at a 3-second negative, and then I'm going to rest for 30 seconds and come back with a dumbbell back lunge. So again, with the dumbbell back lunge, for most people, the goblet will be plenty, but you can hold it goblet, you can do it front rack, you can hold it farmers. Regardless of where you hold the dumbbell, the lunge is the same. So I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see a little bit better. I stand tall, squeeze my glutes a bit. I step, lower, stand. I'm trying to keep my shoulder, hip, and knee stacked over top of each other, and that front knee stacked over top of the heel. And I'm going to work on a 3-second negative. For this, you can choose to do them alternating, so you'll do a total count of 16 to 20 reps, or you can do all on one side, all on the other, either 8 to 10 reps per side. Still rocking that 3-second negative. Take that through, it's gonna burn a little bit, but again, lunging is challenging. Get rid of the weight. Just use empty hands, we step, we lower 3 seconds, we stand. Or if lunging is one of those things that you're like, stepping into it's really tough, you can work on that standing lunge drill. So again, 50-50 balance, back heels off the floor, toe point straight ahead. I'm going to lower straight down, 3 seconds, and then come straight up. Working on the strength to lower and control, but not have to worry about finding our length and our step. We just find that first, and then we just work on the up and down portion. After my lunges, I'm going to rest 90 seconds. Take that through 3 to 5 rounds, depending on how much volume you want to give yourself and or how much time you have available, so you're not rushing through the exercises. Quick recap, we have 3 to 5 rounds. Dumbbell front squat, or dumbbell goblet squat, 8 to 10 reps at a 3-second negative. Rest 30 seconds, dumbbell back lunge, 8 to 10 reps per side at a 0.03 tempo. Rest 90 seconds. You're then going to repeat, hit that 3 to 5, and have a lot of fun with some very burning legs at the end. Pause the video, take down those squats. I'm going to walk you through our first phase of upper body love, which starts with the Scap push-up. So the Scap push-up we can take from the table or the plank. And I want you guys to go from whatever position allows you to execute the movement the best. So we want to make sure our hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips if we're doing the goblet. I'm going to pull my ribs and hips together, and I'm going to pull my shoulders together, keeping that core nice and tight. Arms stay straight, and I'll press back up, and then I'll pull the shoulders together, then I'll press up, and I'll work through the range that I have with my ability to keep my core tight and my arms straight. If I'm going from the plank, I want to make sure I am still executing a solid plank position. So I start in that good plank, I maintain the core and the glute engagement, I pull the shoulders together, press them apart. Pull the shoulders together, press them apart. And I take my time. So you'll notice when I was pulling the shoulders together, it's more of a pull than a pull. Alright, so it's not an aggressive jerky pull, it's a smooth pull and push. So take your time with that. Be slow and thoughtful with those movements because we want to make sure we're building heat and strength in that shoulder girdle. After that, we're going to lay down on the floor. We can work through our leg arm extension. So our eyes are down. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, pull my ribs and hips. Hands are down by the side, palm up. I'm going to press up, and then I'm going to lower down. And maintain that tension as I press and lower. I'm going to do that for 5 to 10 reps, trying to keep my core nice and tight, trying to keep my shoulders back, and just focus on pressing as high as I can, nice and slow, giving myself a little pause at the top, pause at the bottom, to just own the movement at both ends, and make sure I'm not just fluttering my hands back and forth. After that, we move into our plank to down dog. Again, a chance just to work on opening up the lats, warming up the shoulder, the hips, all that good stuff. So we establish that good plank first. We tuck through the pelvis and the ribs, press through the shoulders, and then pull my hips back, making sure my lats are kicked on, my armpits are pointing towards my toes, and I hit that good position. I can soften my ankles and my knees depending on how tight my hamstrings are, because I want to allow that nice hip angle, that little V position at the hip crease, to be there. You don't want to be soft and round, you want to be active, like a little roof. Quick little recap, we have 2 to 3 rounds of that little primer. Scap push-up for 5 to 10, table or plank. Laying arm extension for 5 to 10, and a plank to down dog for 5 to 10, depending on how many reps you want to take down for that. Pause the video, get yourself prepped and ready, get those shoulders ready because we have a cool little work set coming your way for, again, 3 to 5 rounds. I'm going to pull my bench in a little closer for you guys so you guys can see. We're going to start this work setup with our bent row. So the bent row, again, I get set up in a nice kind of modified side plank or tabletop. So I get set up with my hand under my shoulder, knee under my hip, and I'm going to pull my ribs and hips together and get set. I'm going to let the dumbbell arm kind of sink a bit, but I still stay tight. And from here, I'm going to pull through the upper back, pull the hand into my rib and low hip, and then 3 seconds down to that nice long position. Pull and engage, 3 second lower down. And I'm looking at taking that for anywhere from 8 to 10 reps, or sorry, 8 reps today, not 10, 8 reps, sorry, all right, with a 3 second negative per side. So then once I'm done my 8, I'll flip around, do it on the other side, still working on that 3 second negative and that good pull to the hip / the low rib. From there, we work into a little rest. We get a 30-second rest, and then we're going to work on what's called a dumbbell high pull. So the dumbbell high pull can be done a couple ways, depending on how heavy your dumbbells are at home. For most, if we have a lighter set of dumbbells, we can do the strict high pull, so I get tight, pull my ribs in, and I'm going to pull that elbow into a high and outside position, pulling the dumbbell up to my sternum, and then back down with a 3-second count. So I'm tight, I pull high and outside, 3, 2, 1, straight. Pull, 3, 2, 1, straight. If the dumbbells I have at home are too heavy to do that strict or get to the sternum, we can use this as a dynamic feature and take it to the knee and do a clean high pull, 3, 2, 1, down. We pull back, we use a little bit of hip, 3, 2, 1, down, or as close to 3 seconds as we can. So we can choose to use that little hip drive, taking it down with control, or we can do it just nice and slow with a nice strict position. That all depends on the loading we have at home with that dumbbell. So I don't want you tweaking and moving all weird because you're trying to do a strict one with too heavy a dumbbell. Just use the hip, build the strength through that eccentric. It's kind of fun. It's a nice way, an interesting way to build some strength, but we need to be braced and braced. After that, we have a 30-second rest into a dumbbell pullover. We've worked these quite a bit in the past little while. These are a great little lat exercise and a great way to open up the shoulders. So I'm going to get down into my bridge position, heels just outside my fingers. I'm going to press my low back into the floor. I'm going to hold the dumbbell like a little diamond shape, soft elbows to the outside, and I'm going to take the dumbbell down, keeping the arms straight but soft in the elbows until we feel that dumbbell touch the floor. Press up. So this portion, this down portion, is the 3, 2, 1 touch, and then press normal speed. We talked about this before as well. If you want a little bit more range, you can hold it lengthwise. Elbows are still soft into the outside, and we're still taking it down. 3, 2, 1, and then press. You're just going to have a little bit more range of motion with that nice long arm and lower position. So 3 seconds down, normal speed up. And again, if you have multiple loads of dumbbells for that, you can experiment with different weights. You can play around with different ranges of motion, and you can make it yours. Okay? Quick little recap. We have 3 to 5 rounds, dumbbell bent row, 8 per side with a 3-second tempo down. 30-second rest in between into our dumbbell high pull, 8 reps at a 3-second lower, and then we have 30 seconds in between, and then dumbbell pullover for 8 reps, 3-second lower, 90-second rest, hit the next round, have some fun with that one. It's a good time, you guys. You can pick and choose your adventure in terms of how much volume you want for today, but take the time, work well, work for quality for this stuff, and really stay true to that tempo, because the tempo is really helpful in building strength and building that muscle in those positions. They really help you own the movement, which allows you to move well under speed and duress and with heavier loads as well. So keep that in mind. This tempo stuff is super important in terms of owning our movement and making it ours. Until tomorrow, you guys, have a fantastic day with our strength day. We'll see you tomorrow for a little bit more cardio fun. But until then, work for quality, have a lot of fun, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye, you guys.